Hey everybody, welcome back to How to Renovate. Tyler Fever back at Shady Lane. We've got lots of stuff to bring you up to date on. We've been really busy. We're going to start outside. You can see right now we're kind of standing underneath our covered deck. We managed to get this framed in last week. You can see we've kind of carried on that same features inside, outside with our fir posts, our beams, our deck. And again, you can see how high we were able to frame this. We're about 12 feet off the finished ground. We wanted to keep it that high so it didn't feel like a roof. When we came out, we wanted to kind of still let light in, but still have a cover. So we've got it wired up for our outside lights, our outside speakers. We've got a gas line run for our barbecue, so we're pretty much ready to go. Just needs to be inspected for framing, then we can start doing the soffit. Also outside, you can see we've started the siding. This is our cement board. It comes pre-finished. It's kind of got that gray stain look. And again, this is a perfect spot to show you. This is our rain screen that we had applied before the siding went on. This is the finished product after, and as you can see behind it is that rain screen. So it's got that airflow up and behind the siding. So that's the whole purpose of this screen, is to keep bugs out and let the air flow. So you can see we've kind of stepped it up a little bit. We've used some really nice galvanized J-trims around the windows, for inside corners, around our doors. It's just going to give us a really nice finish instead of having the siding butt into our windows and have caulking everywhere. It's a really nice clean looks. Goes really nice with that gray siding. Okay, so we're back inside, came in from outside, and look at these floors. Amazing. This is the part I've been waiting for weeks. We've had the troughs and stuff patched like we saw the last episode. We had all the concrete patched, but this is the final leveling. This is basically what our flooring can go down on top of now. Last week we had the mesh put in. We had our water lines put down on top of the mesh, all strapped off. I'll take you back to the mechanical room. We'll show you how that worked. So they've all been tested and pressurized. And then on Wednesday, we had them come in with a cement truck and a pumper truck, and we finally got our self-leveling down. Now it's not perfectly level. We were kind of, we had a pretty big slope to begin with. So we are smooth, which is important if we're gonna lay the floor. But probably from the front of the house to the back of the house, we're out maybe a ½ inch, which isn't too bad. Not noticeable just walking around. But this is a big turning point. I've been waiting a long time for this. It's kind of that point where you're now kind of getting to the finishing. We've got our electricals roughed in, we've got our plumbing roughed in. We've just got a little bit more of the low voltage rough in to do. So we're really close to getting on to the insulating, the boarding, the painting, the finishing. So we're almost there, but it's been a really good, about week and a half, a really good push. Had a lot of the trades through. A lot of the inspections were done, so we're in really, really good shape. Follow me back to the mechanical room and I'll just kind of explain some of the bits and pieces with the in-floor heating. Back in the mechanical room, you can see this is where all the loops return to. So basically all that piping we had in the floor, each one of these represents a loop. So a zone in the floor. So it could be the laundry room behind me, it could be part of the dining room, living room, the master bedroom. So all these come back, they've all been looped together. And you can see here, the whole system's been pressurized. That's just check for leaks before we pour the concrete. And it also helps keep the hose and the mesh down when the concrete's poured. It prevents it from floating up. We also had the mesh strapped down and anchored to the concrete. That also helped it from lifting. But so you can see all these different loops represent different zones in the house. The last bit in the mechanical room that's been updated is this last bit of pipe, this 6 feet of pipe that connects the valves and the pressure gauge to our actual sprinkler system. So you can see it comes up and it ties in from the cast pipe into that plastic pipe. Now he's just glued that fitting, so we don't want to pressurize this until all the glue's set. So we're going to come back tomorrow, pressurize the system, then the inspector has to come in, have a look at it, make sure there's no leaks, the pressure holds, and then we're good to go. Another nice thing about having the self-leveling concrete down is I've actually been able to lay out the kitchen on the floor. You can see I've done it out in pencil. This is where the cabinets are going to sit, countertops are going, which is really, really helpful because we can kind of do final checks on pot light placement, the speaker placement, electrical placement for the fridge, the freezer, the stove. So as you can see on the floor here, this will be our island. The plumbing and everything coming up to the middle is obviously for our sink. Beside that, there's going to be a dishwasher. There'll be a small cabinet on the end. There's going to be some lower cabinets on the back side of the island just for storage. On this side, we've got like a little recycling center inside this cabinet. And again, a nice little drawer unit on the end. So that kind of takes care of the island. But it's really handy just to be able to kind of line things up, make sure everything's going to work. And it also allows me to kind of fit everything per kitchen drawing. And then we can sign off on the kitchen drawing and get things ordered. So the ball is already rolling on that. Against this back wall, we're going to have a stand-up freezer with a power supply. We have our 24-inch drawer unit beside that. This will have a power plug, and it will also have a switch for the pendants, which will be going over the island. Then we have our stove. We also have the hood range above that. We have a second 24-inch cabinet, so it's kind of balanced. We have another power supply here, and then we also have a switch for our puck lights, which are going to go up underneath the cabinets. So we've got switching on either side. Then we have another stand-up fridge and the power outlet for that. Now coming to the outside back wall, this is more of a storage area. It's got a good-sized pantry on the right side. It's going to have two lower cabinets underneath this window, kind of like a prep area. Another tower on this side, and then a small broom closet to finish it off at the end. You just come through to the mudroom. We're just going to have three big, tall storage units with adjustable shelves, pull-out drawers, and whatnot, just for the big-ticket items you don't use every day. So it really helps having this floor down. And now you can also see, where things are going, how it's going to work, spatial issues. But so far, it looks like everything's going to work out. Okay, we've also started our low voltage wiring. So that's things like your alarm system, your vacuum system, your telephone, your data, your cable. As you can see, this is where one of the TVs is going, and we've got some Cat 5. We've got some cable, some coax cable. So this is starting to get run throughout the house in different locations. If you look over here in the dining room, we've also got basic kind of speaker wire run. This is just for general sound, and we want to have people over, you want background music going or whatever you'd like. We've got a few speakers run throughout the house just for some background music. If you follow me over here, I'll show you where all the wiring is coming to. So basically everything in the house is running back into this area. So you can see all these cables. This is all speaker wire. This is a cable wire. You got your Cat 5. It all comes back into this corner. On this side, this is where we've got a lot of the alarm system coming back to. So we're gonna have the alarm panel in here as well. That's gonna take care of our motion sensors, our window contacts. This will also run out to some of the keypads throughout the house. So it all gets put back here. It'll all get divvied up and put into either alarms, into the audio video, but we decided to run it all here and take it from there. Okay, so we're back out in the garage. I think last time we showed you the concrete had been poured out here. Well, since then I've had a company come out and polish the floor for me. So you can kind of see this is almost there. We didn't want to completely finish the floor because obviously we still have drywalling and paint to do. So they've come out, they polished it. It still needs a couple more buffings and a little bit more touch up. It also needs a sealer, but they came out and did this. They had some free time, so they sent out two guys, a big grinder and some polishing pads. And this is what it's coming out looking like. It's absolutely gorgeous. Once it's done, it will have a sealer on it. If you drive the cars in and out, it should be no problem. So we're just in the process, obviously, with the poly of covering it, getting it protected so that we can do the drywall, the insulation, and carry on with the finishing in the garage. So it's going to be really, really nice.